Hey everybody, welcome back to How's It Going to End. This week we have another packed schedule. This episode is late because I wanted to record it after seeing the Snyder Cut trailer, and I just watched it and it was fucking insane. So we're going to talk about that in a bit. We're also going to talk about the latest episode of WandaVision, which is also a slow rolling fucking insanity. And I also have a pre-recorded clip of me talking about the Last of Us HBO series castings that I already put up on my Instagram, but I'm going to insert it here in a little bit just because I'm too lazy to re-talk about it and make all those points I made. So it'll just be easier to insert it through editing. But first, how's everybody doing? What's everyone up to? How's everyone's week been? You know, a lot of wild news going on this week, a lot of hilarious and infuriating and slam my fucking head in the car door news. So, but before I get to all that, I'm gonna talk about a trip down memory lane I've been having lately. I got a new. I've been trying to replay games on my old Nintendo Advance SP. I've had it for a while now. When I was younger, my family and I would go to these company picnics for the company that my dad works for, and at the end they always had these auctions for prize, like a bike or a trip or some little object or toy or something. And my uncle at the time, why do I say it that he's still alive? my uncle won the Game Boy Advance SP. He put down a raffle for it and he won it, and it came with Super Mario Bros. 3, I think. Hold on. Super Mario Bros. 3, yeah. And growing up, I watched him play it, and he would make sure he got every coin because that's the kind of person he is, and that inspired me to try and then inevitably fail and just try to beat the game as fast as I could. And I've held on to the game and the Game Boy Advance for this long, but I lost the charger like 10, 15 years ago, something like that. And I finally ordered a new one on Amazon. And getting this thing started up again, man, I swear to God, it's bringing back a whole set of memories of sitting and watching my uncle play and playing myself, and like the pillows. What's it called? What are those fucking parts of your thumbs? What are those? The beds, the pillows of your thumbs. The soft parts of my fucking thumbs are getting all are getting calluses from how fast I'm hitting B, and it's unlocking a whole level of childhood memories, and it's so much fun. It's also unlocking memories through the frustration of getting game over after countless fucking deaths in a row. But nonetheless, I've been really psyched to actually be playing it again. It's funny. I can put my phone down. It's been happening the last week. I'll have my phone down for like an hour, 2 hours, and I won't even look at it because I'm trying to get through, a couple worlds here and there. But and yeah, it made me think about all those old video games that I used to play. I think the first ever console game I ever played, I think might have been I played it was the God of War demo on the PlayStation 2, on my uncle's PlayStation 2. That was the first ever, I think, video game I might have ever played. With the demo with the what was the Hydra? And I think that I attribute that to the reason why I've stuck with PlayStation for all this time. I just was used to PlayStation since then, but also because God of War, I stuck with God of War. That was one of that was, I think, the first game I ever played, and I was addicted. I was addicted to the game. I had a weird infatuation with Greek mythology when I was growing up. I had a teacher who got me into Greek mythology really young, reading history books and the Percy Jackson series and all that shit. So the God of War games, the way it played around with Greek mythology, always stuck with me. So I played every PlayStation console God of War game, and I played all the ones on the what's the PS Pro? What's that fucking thing called? PS Plus. What was the handheld version called? I can't fucking remember. The PSP, the PlayStation. I guess it was PlayStation. No, portable PlayStation. That's what it was. I had every one of those those side God of War games for that, and I've always had a very narrow uh, mindset when it came to video games. I fucking hate. I've never been a fan of online gaming. You know, all my friends would like, you know, do like huge parties playing like not God of War, Call of Duty, and all that shit. And it was just never my thing. I liked, you know, hovering over a character's shoulder and playing like a long story mode because of starting that off with God of War. I think that's what actually got me into it. And leading that all the way down to like the games I play now, which are strictly story mode games. I don't play online games. I haven't played Fortnite once. I think I played Minecraft for a little bit on my phone when it first came out, and like the App Store, and then I was kind of bored with it. I don't know. I guess the whole point of that game is to just, you know, build or whatever. But online games just were not my thing. Honestly, mostly because everyone else was fucking better than me, and who wants to keep playing a game that you're shitty at that everyone else is better than you at? But also because they just never seemed fun because I was shitty at them. So, yeah, you know, I mean, all the games I love now, you know, Last of Us and the latest God of War and Spider-Man and all that stuff is Red Dead Redemption. I mean, that's my wheelhouse, and it just so happens that they're also incredibly popular. But it's you know, those are the games that I dive into. I can spend like 3 months solid on one game, and then I won't touch my PlayStation unless maybe for Netflix for like a year and a half until the next game comes out that I'm anticipating. Like the next one is probably the next God of War. I haven't touched my PlayStation since. I might replay The Last of Us Part 2, but I'm not crazy about replaying it right now. I'm not really in the mood to. So but yeah, kind of like blowing the dust off this Game Boy Advance was a blast to the past. Oh jeez. And I have to get more games for them. Though I know I have them somewhere around here, but it's like I'm not gonna fucking dig through all my shit to find them. And then you look on Amazon and like Pokemon fucking Fire Red is like $200, and it's like, come on, dude. No one has just like one with like all the files deleted off. They can just fucking toss it over. Come on, toss it over. Cut it out. I'm not gonna pay fucking like, you know, $400 for Leaf Green, you know. All right, with that, you know, childhood memory unloading out of the way, let's get into some of the news going on this week. Paranormal Activity getting a reboot. I mean, the first episode of this podcast, I talked about the fact that Paranormal Activity was a 1 in a billion chance. They made it for like $12,000, and it made a shit ton of money. And then they made a bunch of sequels that were just like declining in quality, but got a shit ton of money after that, by producers, I mean, who knows how it did in the box office? Probably fine, because paranormal movies somehow always do fine. But I mean, the 1 in a billion chance of the first Paranormal Activity of actually doing well, it only did well because it had no fucking like, you know, studio, like love, you know. It got straight up. It was because it was made for so cheap, and it was so on the fly and so, you know, intricately made that it did well because it was actual quality. And now the epitome of that is like, we're gonna reboot something that did really well because we didn't care about it, but now we're gonna put a shit ton of money into it, and it's gonna be fucking lame. Not to mention, they have what's his fucking name? The guy that does the Happy Death Day movies working on it, which I can't stand the Happy Death. I know they're popular, but they're just so fucking lame to me. It's like, one is, aren't they just fucking scary Groundhog Day? But isn't that just like an overused fucking plot line? I don't know. It's described as a new, unexpected retooling of a highly lucrative franchise. Doesn't that sound like they're just fucking it? Doesn't that sound like a fancy way someone, like a producer, would say, to be like, yeah, we're going to rape this franchise? New, unexpected retooling. Doesn't that just sound like surprise fucking sex? Unexpected retooling? I don't know. That sounds... get the fuck out of here, man. Blumhouse is just dropping turd after turd. Yeah, Paranormal Activity in 2009 was made for like, I think, $12,000, and it grossed 190 million worldwide. That's a fucking skyrocketing success. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna have that happen again. It's gonna be an unexpected retooling, and we're gonna give you a shit ton of money, and you already have a release date. Like nothing's been done for it, but you already have a release date. That's so fucking ridiculous to me. All right, moving on. I'm gonna touch on the Gina Carano stuff just for a fucking second because I'm too exhausted talking about that and getting frustrated about that. Here's my one of a kind point of view. It's not cancellation. You're not being canceled if you said like asshole shit and got fired. If you went into work one day and around the water cooler you were like, yeah man, I don't know, I'm starting to feel like a fucking Jew during the Holocaust right now, you'd get fired, and everyone else would be like, yeah, that makes sense. But because she's a celebrity, and it's the fucking Republican Party, it's like, oh wow, conservative voices are being silenced, and we're not going to stand for this cancellation. It's like, I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. And now she's got this movie coming out with Ben Shapiro, which is like, come on, man, what are you doing? And all this time, she's like playing like the most uber rebel in Star Wars. It's like, bitch, you are part of the Empire if I ever fucking saw one. All right, moving on. That's all I have to say. Fuck that bitch. There was also some news on Joss Whedon. Was that her name? Charisma Carpenter, who worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, brought out a bunch of allegations about him being cruel and just a straight around awful person, and standing with Ray Fisher, which is like, this guy's been saying this shit for what, almost a year and a half now. I don't know, a full year and a half. It's funny that Ray Fisher's been like, Warner Media has like completely cut all ties with him. He parted ways on the Flash movie, which is like, that it's just, okay, get the fuck out of here, we don't want you anymore. But like, also, like I said this on Instagram, I think that and this is not like an upset at white guy type thing. It's like, if you are a white male in any position of power, whether you knew it or not, whether you were conscious about it or not, there is always there can't not be a record of an abuse of power. It's that simple. It comes with it. It comes with the fucking privilege of being a white guy that has like people under you. You know what I mean? So talking about it is the best fucking thing we can do about it, because there are people that go, how come it took her this long? It's like, seriously, man, that's the fucking lamest response. What, I don't know. It's like, who has the balls to be just something minor in some grand thing, and then the guy at the top is up there, and like, how many out of 1,000 times where it's like, if you say something, you're labeled as crazy, or you're labeled like you're trying to end his career or get something out of it. It's like, really, that's what they're going to go through, all this like public ridicule and torture, because and their end goal is to come out of this somehow on top. That just, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. I think it makes more sense to assume, if you're a producer, or if you're some fucking, this is going to be, did I even want to talk about this? I don't know why. Episode, was it 6, 5? All right. You get my point. I'm going to move on. I guess now is when I'll insert my clip on the Last of Us series and HBO casting. I'm going to put it in right now. All right, everybody, we have our cast for, well, two of our casts for HBO's The Last of Us live action series, written and created by The Last of Us writer and creative director Neil Druckmann and HBO's Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin. Now, a couple of details before we get into the cast. The show is going to be based on the game, basically takes place during the same time period. If the information I'm looking at is actually accurate, I don't know. This article was published the day I'm reading it. A bunch of people at Naughty Dog are working on it. A bunch of people at HBO are working on it. This is not going to be some half-assed, throwaway adaptation. You have everybody putting time and effort into it. You have HBO putting money into it, and you have actual creative minds, including the guy that fucking made the goddamn first and second game, working on it. So let's start from there. This is gonna have a solid fucking bedrock, And now moving on to the castings. First off, we have for Ellie, Bella Ramsey, previously known on Game of Thrones as Lyanna Mormont, the fucking badass chick who killed a goddamn giant, motherfucker. She killed a giant. If that's not an Ellie, she killed a giant the way Ellie would kill a giant. Let's just be honest here. She ran up to it, and as she was getting crushed to death, she stabbed it in the fucking eye, and then boom, this fucking child killed a giant. So let's just start from there. And in the show, she's clearly like the only, I think she's the highest, I don't remember exactly, it was a while ago. She's the highest ranking member in her family or something like that. She's this little girl putting up a tough front, and clearly she's not as tough as she is because she's still a little fucking girl. She's still a child. If that's not the character breakdown of Ellie, a little kid who's fucking, putting up this rough, tough attitude. I mean, come on. I cannot wait to see what she brings for the character of Ellie. And of course, the internet is horrible because the internet is horrible. But we're going to get into that in a second. Cast as Joel. And I'm so excited that this is actually happening because until I heard it, I did not even think about it. But it makes so much fucking sense. Cast as Joel is Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal. I'm saying it the way he says it because I'm respectful. How fucking great. First off, how hilarious is that? This guy's going to be cast as the reluctant father figure for the rest of his fucking life. And you know what? It fucking works for him, okay? I look at him and I go, Papa? So I can't wait. I cannot wait to see these two. It's a combination no one fucking thought of. Because, think about it this way. Who are the, I'm getting fucking riled up, boy. Think about all the people that everyone chose for these characters. Break them down. Look at them. And look at them. Obviously, look at them. Not saying that they are devoid of any talent. What I am saying is they were not chosen because of their fucking talent. It's fucking simple as that. So many people are hung up on the looks, which I understand. I get it. I played the fucking games too. You log almost 100 hours of playing and replaying with these fucking characters and you get attached. I understand. But at some point, move the fuck on. Because if it gets to the point that you're automatically disregarding something new and fresh and exciting and unique, then you're not a fucking actual fan anymore. You're a fucking obsessive little shit. You're a whiny little shit that wants it your way and only your way. It's the same fans that fucking signed a petition to redo Game of Thrones. Get the fuck out of here. Let's be fucking realistic. If you want lookalikes, play the game. If you want Joel to look like Joel, and if you want Ellie to look like Ellie, go and play the fucking game again. And only play the game and replay it over and over and over until you're fucking dead. It's childish and unrealistic to expect them to cast someone solely based on looks. That's how you end up with a good-looking, shitty performance. For fuck's sake, be appreciative that they actually cast a teenager for Ellie. They cast a 17-year-old to play a 14-year-old and not a 27-year-old to play a 14-year-old just because she kind of looks like Ellie. These characters will be brought to life through solid, relatable performances, not similar looks. And watch, I'm riled up. I guarantee you, after these two pull out genuine performances and truly show a true bond the way that Ellie and Joel do in the game, I fucking guarantee you, everyone that's bitching and moaning and being so mean to this 17-year-old kid, of course, because I fucking guarantee you she's gonna log off of Instagram soon, how people are so fucking mean to Bella. It's unfucking believable. I mean, it's the internet. The internet is shitty. We all know this and we all fucking accept it because that's the way the world is, but Jesus Christ, I guarantee you all these people are going to fucking flip on a dime. I knew since the beginning she would pull it out. I guarantee. Get the fuck out of here, man. What fucking more do you want from an Ellie casting? Be honest. A little white girl. Bada boom. There you go. God forbid they cast someone that's not a white girl. I mean, the internet almost shit their pants when they heard Mahershala Ali might have been cast as Joel. There are people here considering it like a step on thin ice by casting Pedro Pascal. I'm not going to say his name like a gringo. I'm going to say it Pedro Pascal, the way you say it. Or maybe a gringo pretending not to be a fucking gringo. The point I'm making is I'm so fucking excited. I'm so excited. I don't think I ever would have expected this choice in casting, and I'm so glad I didn't, because what do I always fucking say? Come on, tell me. I know you can't tell me. What I always say is, we don't know what we want. We do not know what we want. The audience does not know. If it were up to the audience every time, we would have the same shit until the end of the fucking world. And it's that fucking simple. I hate to fucking quote Steve Jobs, because I don't really give a fuck about Steve Jobs, but he had some quote like, people don't know what they want. Give them what they want. Some shit like that. Oh, I gotta fucking Google this goddamn quote now. Hold on. Haha, there we go. I found it. Some people say, excuse me. Some people say, give the customer what they want, but that's not my approach. Our job is to figure out what they're going to want before they do. Fucking bada boom. And how many fucking examples in pop culture history can you find where us, the fucking consumer, the audience, are given something that no one ever expected? No one ever, who even asked for this? And then we fucking adore it in the end. I can be the fucking first to tell you, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker announcement, how many people were bitching. Straight up, you would have thought that someone told them their mother had cancer, the way they fucking screamed about it. And then everyone jerks it off now because it made $1 billion and it's fantastic. Same with WandaVision. Same with Heath Ledger's Joker. Same with every other fucking situation where the consumer is given something that they didn't expect, and all of a sudden, hey, look at that. We wanted a faster horse, they gave us a fucking car. And that's how this shit works. All right. And we're back to where the episode was when it started. This is future me from that past me that you just heard talking about The Last of Us, but I'm also still a past version of me that you're listening to. Present me that's alive, that when you're listening to this right now is probably passed out asleep because he hasn't slept yet. He hasn't slept in 26 hours. All right, I guess what we're going to do right now, I'm going to save... should I save WandaVision or Snyder Cut for last? I'll save Snyder Cut for last. Let's talk about some WandaVision, because I've been hankering talking about some WandaVision right now, boy. All right. First of all, the basic like plot line of this episode, it's like a Halloween special episode. My favorite thing about this episode so far. My favorite thing about this episode basically is the fact that it has progressed significantly, I think. It's sort of mid to late 90s and sort of early 2000s style of sitcom humor. Instantly, the Malcolm in the Middle intro. It's like as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is so chaotic and scribbly and wild that it's all I could think of Malcolm in the Middle. And Quicksilver was playing. If you watched Malcolm in the Middle, Quicksilver was playing Francis, the older brother that comes to visit and kind of is wild, and the man child, and the way he trashes everything and gets the kids all riled up. I loved that so much. Not to mention the fact that the camera isn't still anymore. It's not on a tripod, or it's not panning left and right anymore. It's handheld. And it's moving with the characters, and it's moving into the sets more, which was something that was very late 90s and early 2000s in sitcoms, because it was more interaction now, which I thought was so cool because it's showing such a unique advancement. Like every time Wanda is somehow she's moving forward to the events of everything. Who knows how when this becomes to like modern day, which I think it's going to be like a Modern Family type parody, which is great because then you have all the talking heads and stuff like that, which is going to be fun. I wonder if at the end of that is when everything's going to crack, because there's only I think 3 episodes left. And what I'm loving about this is that as everything progresses, everything becomes more chaotic. It's almost like the way that sitcom writing became more self-aware from like the days of, you know, the Honeymooners to Malcolm in the Middle to Modern Family. It's just that so are all the characters. So is Vision. Vision is realizing, oh, I'm in a fucked thing right now. I'm screwed, and Wanda is not helping me for shit. And I think that's so great when he comes down in his costume, and Wanda's kind of complimenting him on his costume, and he mentions like, yeah, well, there were no other clothes in my closet. She's forcing him. She's like, listen, I'm not going to give you, basically like, I'm not going to give you any other clothing. You're going to participate in this, or you don't fucking have anything else to wear, and you're not going to be able to participate. That's like so prison warden-esque. Like, being Vision, he's like so powerful, but he's turned so powerless almost, you know? And that's just so great. I love that there's also cutaways, because that was a super, you know, modern for the time of the late 90s and early 2000s, and more modern now recently. Someone referencing something that happened, you know, in the past or whatever, and then they cut to that. That's just such a funny, unique way to tell the story, especially for a story like this for WandaVision. Well, here's one thing that I kind of noticed that I could be wrong, but just tell me what you think. Look back at it and tell me what you think. So my thing with Pietro is that he is the MCU's Quicksilver, but just with Evan Peters' face. He's got all of Aaron Taylor Johnson's memories. He's got the memories of getting killed and of growing up when they were little with that Wanda, you know. He has no memories of Fox or anything like that. I think that strictly he was brought in. I don't think Wanda brought him in, because she has no clue what's going on. She's asking him questions, and he's dodging all these questions. So maybe he's got to be someone in disguise. But because Wanda is so powerful, and she's so repressive right now, she's putting everything to the back of her head. She strictly just replaced his face. I think unconsciously or subconsciously, she replaced his face to not acknowledge the reality that hard, you know? So it is her brother. It's her dead brother that she knows is dead, but it's not him, because it's a different looking dude. And the best is because it's, you know, sitcom quote unquote reality, you can do this whole like recasting bullshit, which I love so much. But back to the top of that, he kind of has MCU Quicksilver's hair. Take a second, go and look back at it, and then look at his hair in the X-Men movies, and then look at Aaron Taylor Johnson in Age of Ultron. In the X-Men movie, it's a lot just more like solid gray or silver. In Age of Ultron, it's kind of got like silver highlights and streaks of black in there. And looking at it before he turns into his comic accurate Halloween costume, where the hair goes into points, which could also kind of be like devil horns, you know, subconscious shit. But before he does that, it looks a lot like Age of Ultron Quicksilver's hair to me, for some reason. I think that's just supposed to be like maybe some of him is peeking through, even though it's Evan Peters' face. I don't know. I thought that was really, really cool. I love the kick-ass nod when all the kids go kick-ass, and then Wanda, yo, kick-ass. Because Evan Peters was in Kick-Ass with Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Kick-Ass in that movie. That's like the subtext of everything, and the unconscious, you know, inside jokes, inside trivia is so fun about this show, and that's what I'm loving so much about it. The shot of the woman perpetually tying up her clothing on the clothesline is fucking terrifying. The tear coming down her cheek. She's like, it's like that Rick and Morty episode, with the simulation. She's on the outside of the simulation of the reality, and she's getting the least amount of mental thought. You know, everyone else on the inside is forced to participate, but everyone else is on the outside is like just standing there like, when Wanda comes by is when we start to get active, even though you'd think that Wanda wouldn't want Vision to get too far. He knows that he's stuck there, so why wouldn't she keep an eye on him, you know? Maybe some part of her in the back end is trying to finish this, because we know that as much as it seems like she's in control, you know, Wanda's we know that Wanda's not a bad guy. We know this is all a mental thing, and she's fucking, her brain is collapsing and all that shit, but we know that there has to be some deal with fucking the devil going on. When the kids are running away and Quicksilver goes, run, demon spawn, like, it's the most subtle form of heavy-handed content. I think you guys are getting tired of me saying I'm really enjoying this, but I really fucking love this. I love the way that Pietro lists his sitcom agenda. Like if you looked up on the TV guide, it would say, you know, stir up conflict with the brother-in-law, give Wanda grief, teach, go crazy with the kids or something like that. Pietro comes to visit and he stirs up conflict. Like it's so brilliant the way that like that's how she's thinking everything through. But you know that he's there for some other purpose. He's not just there because I don't think she brought him in that. I think that he was brought in when everything was kind of getting just crazy enough. When Vision and her were having that standoff, someone said, "All right, hit the ripcord. We need to change up the plot line." You know. I this episode had me wishing it came out during Halloween because it is so eerily unsettling. Most of the show is unsettling it when it wants to be. It can go like up to 11, but this episode in particular, because everything, it's such a good example of a classic Halloween special. So they did a really good job. And then there's, you know, his line, Pietro's line, "Damn it, if Westview, New Jersey isn't charming as hell." Come on. It's so perfectly, subtly heavy-handed. It's like the most, the subtlety comes from how heavy-handed it is, because it's like, we know that it's something more, but it's taking such a good amount of time to get there that, oh, it's so good. And then when Wanda sort of bears down and acknowledges the truth, her wall starts to crack and she sees dead Quicksilver with all the bullets and the bullet wounds and all that shit. And for a second, and then during all that collapsing, for a second, Vision gets beyond the barrier. And now this is where I thought was interesting, was I thought that since Monica's clothing existed beyond the barrier, it solidified and it was made partially through her DNA, that maybe Vision, if he tried to escape, would manifest almost like reanimate into a living physical object outside of the barrier. But it turns out no. It's all it's all part of Wanda's fucking magical reality. He can't exist beyond the border. He tried to get past and he died, basically. He died for a third time? Jesus Christ. In 4 or 5 weeks? I mean, no, in a while. 5 years. I keep thinking that Infinity War is just before Endgame. I keep forgetting it's 5 years before Endgame. But, yeah. And then Wanda expanding the border. She's so fucking strong. I don't think that that's something that whoever was the evil higher power in this expected she would do. I don't think he thought that she had that in her. Like, she expanded the border by a long shot, to the point where everyone else except for, I think, Monica and Wu are in it now. Darcy's in it. We're going to see her participate, you know, forcefully. But I wonder how that's gonna look next week. And I heard recently that the last 3 episodes are an hour long each, instead of, you know, how the last 6 episodes have kind of taken shape in the way that those sitcoms at the time were paced, you know, 21 minutes, 27 or 43, and how it goes. But yeah, it's interesting. Also, the way that the kids are getting their powers, you know, I think it's Tommy's the speedster, right? Tommy unlocked his powers through Quicksilver, and then Billy gets them when his dad's getting fucking killed. And that's another reason why I think Quicksilver was sent there, was to you know, speed up their no pun intended, speed up their power progression. Because in the last episode, Agnes tried doing it, kind of, you know, with the dead dog. And then when Wanda was saying she couldn't revive him, the kids tried accessing their powers and growing older, and Wanda kind of stopped them for the moment. So I think that's what Evan Peters' Quicksilver was sent in to do, was to, because that's my until the end, when I'm proven right or wrong, I think that's what they're trying to do. Mephisto wants these two at their like peak level, because they're essentially Antichrist, demon spawn, you know? They're immaculately conceived through a deal with the devil. So when they're at their peak and their powers are killing it, I mean, Wiccan is gonna go crazy with it. Oh man. And the way that Wanda tossed Quicksilver aside for like fully acknowledging the reality. It's not like your husband can die, your dead husband can die twice, and then whoosh, and then the kids hear that. Imagine what that's gonna do to them next episode. How they're gonna deal with that. Oh man, what a great episode. I'm so looking forward to these last three, but I don't want it to end because I feel like you can only do one season of WandaVision because she's going to appear in Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. I'm still expecting him to show up in at some point because I'm more surprised he hasn't already shown up. I mean, the sorcerers are supposed to know about like all, you know, metaphysical and magical shit going on the planet, right? I'm surprised that he hasn't shown up already, or unless maybe he's being forced out and he's being kept out. But yeah. And now there's all these rumors about who Monica's friend is. She had, I don't remember, an astrophysicist, or she had a friend in some type of field, and people are saying it's going to be Reed Richards. Some people are saying it's going to be some other people. I don't remember. I haven't been paying attention to that part. I'm focusing solely on Vision and the kids and Quicksilver. But yeah, what a good episode. All right, we are moving on to the Snyder Cut trailer, which literally, a couple hours ago just dropped. The first thing I noticed about this trailer was that they visually showed the wave of, you know, the wave following Superman's death, acknowledging to the rest of the world that, you know, that this godlike being, to the rest of the universe, that this godlike being was dead, you know, hinting back to Lex's, you know, the bell has been rung, in the darkness they hear it, and stuff like that, you know. Superman's death caused, you know, temples in Themyscira to collapse, apparently. That's what it looks like. All these sound waves and energy waves blasting off him trashed everything. And it's a perfect way to let everyone know, it's like, hey man, we got an alpha over here that's fucking taken out. And perfect time for Steppenwolf to drop in, and they put a lot more focus on the Nightmare world than I expected, which I'm really looking forward to, because it looks like a no holds barred kind of world. We got some looks at Apocalypse, which looks like, you know, a giant fireball with these. It looks super unbelievably like. My favorite thing about Zack Snyder is how down to the fucking stitch he is with accuracy when it comes to specific kinds of looks and stuff like that. We've been getting, you know, these teasers. We got to look at Darkseid, a solid look at grown Darkseid. We got some kind of glances at Granny Goodness, and we got some looks at Desaad and the new Steppenwolf, which he looks like a fucking juggernaut. And now compared to the other one, the other one looked like a. I mean, it's a boring old joke that I'm tired of hearing. He looked like a sloth in armor. This one looks like a mechanical fucking, you know, a mechanical juggernaut. Like, and then there was those clips of him chopping up the Amazons, and we're actually gonna get some fucking blood. The movie's rated R. Think, fuck, you can't do a movie like this PG fucking 13, man. Not with Darkseid, at least. Come on. I'm super excited for the Themyscira battle, just because it looks like a whole ass war scene between Steppenwolf and the Amazonians, and he's just mowing motherfuckers down. It's wild, dude. We got some looks at Ray Fisher as Cyborg, which he's my favorite thing about the Joss Whedon Justice League. Some of his moments were like pure and good. He was the best character, I think, in that you know, that kind of pile of a movie. And we're getting these cool, awesome looks at him. It seems like there's going to be something beyond that final fight that they did in the theatrical release. Like, there's going to be more to it following that, because they showed a lot of the Nightmare world. We know that Jared Leto's Joker is going to be in it, and in the end of this clip, we see Jared Leto and Batman and Cyborg in the background, and they say Jared Leto says the incel society thing It's like he watched 2019 Todd Phillips Joker, and he was like, I'm going to make this. I feel like Zack Snyder put that in on purpose. He had to have put the We Live in a Society on purpose. He just seems like he'd be in tune to that kind of sense of humor. But also, it's interesting because it's showing how shit that nightmare world is if Batman and Joker seemingly are teaming up to take down an evil Superman and a new god. You know what I mean? So, and then he says Batman, and it looks, oh, this is going to be really, really interesting. And it's only, 32 days away? It's coming out March 18th. Man, this is going to be good. What are some other, I'm looking through the trailer right now to get some of my favorite shots. It turns out we're apparently going to get a whole lot more of the original war between everyone. That failed on Earth. We're going to see a lot more dark side in that. We're going to see a lot more of the old gods in that, Ares and Zeus and all them, and we're going to get a lot more Ezra Miller and Kiersey Clemons, Barry Allen and Iris West shit going on, which I am super excited for, because what a wasted, like, what's even the point? I hope that they kind of maintain some thread of continuity between this and his Flash movie. Just because the relationship between these two seems like it's going to be super, like, important in Barry's life for the movie, you know? We got Batman straight up taking blasts from parademons like it's nothing, and I'm excited about that. Come on. I was against it at first when people kind of brought it up, just because I was in denial. But, like, they really hammed him up in the theatrical release. They really hammed it up with the something's definitely bleeding and holy shit, he is big. It's like they really just kind of, we have some time to fill here. Let's have Batman say a funny line, which is like, you can have Batman be funny. It's been done before. He can be funny. It should not be purposely funny. You know, he should not be trying to make jokes. This is Batman fucking 101 here, folks. We're going to see this beautiful black and silver suit for Superman. We got like a similar scene to Man of Steel's first flight, where he's kind of feeling his energy and the pulsing rocks around him. It seems like his resurrection in this is going to be a lot more focused on than in the theatrical release as well, which I'm looking forward to, because it should be. You know, it seems like, you know, they can't win without him, and it should be. They can't win unless they're all together. That's the whole point of the Justice League. They are there for when a threat is so big that they need all of them to take it down. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. March 18th, people, on HBO Max. And if you're not in the U.S. and you can't get HBO Max, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I didn't make that decision. It was not up to me. Sorry. All right. I think that was today's episode. We got a lot out of the way. We got some shit I'm probably going to get DMs about out of the way too, but that's fine. That always happens anyways. Make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you can. If not, I get it. That's fine. But if you can, it really helps. And make sure when you go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, Comedian of Cinema, you check out the podcast there too, because soon enough, I will be doing a video podcast. I am doing the slightest bit more construction in my room. Going to paint the walls, move some furniture, and then I will have the camera set up, and there will be video podcasts on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comedian of Cinema. And if you found this somehow, but I doubt it, but if you found this, follow me on Instagram at Comedian of Cinema. I post all the time, and I'm super active on it. And yeah, see you guys next week.